What's going on, guys? I wanted to do this video and talk about why 20-year-olds need mentors. So let's dive in. All right, so I'm cooking. You're going to hear some chopping. But I wanted to discuss this for a long time because I've seen this happen over and over in my life. And in my 20s, I didn't really know what it was. And now that I am over 35, thank you very much. I want to discuss how people get to this place. So what happens is young people go from high school where hopefully they had some guidance, good parents, but a lot didn't. Some people were raised by relatives who didn't care to really implement a lot. And some people were raised by parents with great intentions, but very busy schedules, just trying to keep food on the table and didn't have a lot of time to really spend with their kids and therefore cultivate their adulthood. And so young people go from high school to college, which is high school with no adults, and then, or some type of military training, or they get right into the workforce. And when this happens, I mean, it's a great thing because obviously you're getting out there on your own, but there is no in-between training to explain to you how adulthood works. And I have definitely, I don't know if I said this, but I've dealt with this in many different forms over the years. Didn't know what it was, didn't know why people were going through these very, in my opinion, basic things, but I realize it now. So for instance, it's the lesson of borrowing money. If you really are not going to pay it back on time, you shouldn't borrow it. You should ask, can you have money? Because people who lend it to you usually are lending you money because they care about you. And then a lot of relationships are ruined because that particular amount of money, be it large or small, and whoever's opinion, is not returned on time. And that can sometimes hurt a relationship or even just hurt a person. Maybe they lent you the last little bit of money that they needed and then they needed it back. I have plenty of people on the list who owe me money. But the notion that you should not even try to make a payment plan happens, and people's relationships, friendships go to shit, okay? Thinking that you have a say in other people's lives. I specifically remember being 19 and cursing this man out about how he treated his wife, because in my opinion, he treated her so shitty. And what I had to do later, and even a conversation I had with later, is that I didn't stick around long enough to see the chaos that my own personal opinion caused. Now, whether I was right or wrong is not the point. I wasn't married to him. That wasn't my place. And that was something that I learned as I got older. And as I got older, I actually got a chance to apologize to him and them both before he passed away, which really was a great moment. But I should have never done it in the first place. But again, nobody ever told me how to operate in adulthood. I was 19 and I was doing adult things, moving as an adult, but not really. And no one ever said, hey, it might be bothering you, but don't say nothing. That's not your business. It's not your place. You're not in their marriage. You don't know what goes on. You know, she might like it. Who knows? And so I say that there are so many different scenarios that young people run into, and they think they're operating properly, and then they hit this head with people. Sometimes they lose friends. Sometimes they fall out with their parents. I had a girlfriend who came to stay with me, and she said, oh, my dad kicked me out. And when she started talking, it didn't sound like he kicked her out. It sounded like he hit her with a good, if you can't abide by my rules in my house, then you need to leave. And so it's very important that people kind of take a step back and grab a mentor. Grab somebody that's not going to tell you you are flaunting rainbows. Grab somebody that's not only going to cuss you out with the truth, blatantly tell you the truth, tell you if you are wrong, and possibly have lived enough life to give you points of views of other people involved. For instance, my godson called me and told me he had a moment with his mother, and I said, this is probably why she felt that way, and you're operating this way, and then we're going to pull you back into reality, and these are some things you may want to do, instead of the possibility of bumping heads with her over and over and over again. Grab a mentor that's going to tell you the truth, tell you some other points of views. And as you get older, I would really advise associating with different people from different walks of life. One thing that I love hearing 20-year-olds say, love it, because it's always so funny to me, is that, oh, that person's life is not goals, so why would I listen to them? And the thing about that is that me personally, I'm not saying they're saying this to me, but I've heard it a couple of times. I've actually had somebody say it to me. I've had a sports car. I've had 6 figures in my bank account. You know, I've been in that romantic looking relationship. And the truth is that some people whose life don't reflect the life that you want, there's a good reason for it. But the notion that they don't know anything because they're not living a music video life is really ill-informed. You miss a lot of things. The homeless man on the corner can have a lot of wisdom, but this notion that because he's homeless, he has to be ignorant is kind of the byproduct of that mindset. And so as you get older, I would suggest, as I said, grabbing different people from different walks of life, and what I call now, not even having a mentor, I call it seeking counsel, because there are different things that I've been through. And if I have this situation, I know to call this mom. If I have this particular situation with men, I call this homeboy. If I have this particular area that I don't know about, you know, I will still call my mom, or I'll call this mom, you know, just to find out her aspect. If it's a career path, I know that this person used to do that, or they may know somebody who did. And I think it's just really important to make sure that you are having a very well-rounded counsel. Having a very well-rounded counsel gives you a lot of different aspects of options. I guess you got options of people to talk to that may be more in line with the questions that you have. And it's not to say you have to take the advice. It's not. But it's good to have perspective outside of your own knowledge. My nieces, my nephews, as they grow, and my godsons especially, as they grow, I have these moments with them where I'm like, because of your age, your view of understanding is here, and because of my age in comparison to somebody older than me, my view of understanding is smaller. But because they hopped out into the world and they were immediately given so much responsibility, in their minds they're grown. And then they have these moments with me where I'm like, listen, I understand that's how you feel, but that's not how any of this works. And until they learn to ask why as they operate, and I always recommend doing that in life, period. Ask people, why are they so upset, or why did that go down that way, or why is this person giving me so much hell over here, you know, because I did XYZ. And when you learn to ask why, I think that just opens up so many doors for understanding, and then you can make decisions. But this initial notion that I have left high school and I've graduated and I'm grown and I do what grown folks do, and then that headbutt that you get when you deal with real adults who do not have time for your point of view, where you haven't grown up, you're going to run into people who do not take the time to explain to you how things work. And I think that's also a misstep of adults. The assumption that that person should do it this way because you know how it's going to turn out is not the aspect of someone who's only been on this earth for lesser years than you. I see this in the entertainment industry all the time. It's like, oh, blacklist that person. And I'm not saying the blatant disrespectful thing should not be, but a lot of people don't have that knowledge in that industry. You can have a 50-year-old PA and it may be their first day on the job and they may not know not to do certain things. But you know, I think, again, it's a misstep of older people, and not older in age, but older in experience, that they just decide, okay, I'm going to shut that person out and not explain anything to them. They're just useless, pointless, they're annoying, whatever. They're a waste of my time. And when you explain things to people, the real, genuine people do want to do better. And so I think just taking that time out to explain things to our younger people, be them age or experience, and our younger people also having the wisdom to do things like look at this video and decide, okay, I'm going to start to ask why. I'm going to slow my roll. I'm going to admit, because this is something that really, really happens later on in life. When you get older, you realize you didn't know anything in your younger 20s. You may know how you feel about things, and that's fine. You have the total right to hone in on how you feel and where you want to go and what direction you want to be in. But seeking knowledge from different people will also help guide you that way. But the older you get, the more you realize you didn't know nothing back in the day. Nothing. You thought you knew everything, but you don't. So I think that's the biggest first step people can take, is to say, you know, I'm growing and I'm still young and I don't know everything. I may feel like I do, but I don't know everything. And I am going to start to ask more questions to gain understanding so that I can gain the knowledge of life and then function within an adult world. Because like I said, when kids go from high school and then some jump out into adult responsibilities immediately, or college and then they jump into adult responsibilities immediately, in their mind, they do what they want, they say what they want. It's fuck you if you don't like it, because now they're grown. And when you have that thought process and you're dealing with other adults, you're gonna meet some hard brick walls in proceeding. And so hopefully, you know, as I always hope, these videos help at least one person and somebody's watching. And, you know, you share it if you feel you need to share it with your kids and these nephews, young people growing up, people just starting out on certain things, even on a new job. I sit back and I watch, because even though I may have done a similar job to that thing, and of course everybody kind of skips from place to place in the same career, I sit back and I learn how that situation works. I don't jump in thinking I know everything. That's why most of the time they train you, because here is a little bit different. So anytime you get into a new stage in life, a new environment, a new situation, sit back, observe, ask questions to gain knowledge so that you can proceed with the best intentions, the best self-education, and really be, at least with the best intentions, the best you can be moving forward and dealing with others. All right. So you guys have a great one. Finish cooking. Bye.